What's going on, guys? Supersavage 789 here, bringing you guys another video. And today we're doing What If King Piccolo is Never Sealed, Part 3. We're going to cover the Namek arc today. If you haven't seen the first two parts, go and watch them, they're peak. And we'll be continuing without any recaps. Without further ado, let's just get into today's video. Piccolo's group arrive on Namek, taking a little under a day to make it there. The ship lands in the ruins of Mori's village, making Dende a bit emotional. He sucks it up though, wanting to be tough. The group all begin looking around to see if there are any survivors, locating Nail on the ground. He's badly damaged and bleeding out, but due to him being stronger here, he was able to hold out a lot longer, meaning that he'd still be alive when the group arrived. This means that Dende is able to heal Nail. Once healed up, Nail will tell the group the situation, with him stating that Piccolo is the only one who'd be able to defeat Frieza. Saying this only angers Goku, believing this at a jab at his strength. He'll put an end to the tyrant himself before the others get a chance. He then flies away, heading towards the biggest power level there. Piccolo asks Tambourine, Drum, and Cymbal to go with him and make sure he doesn't get killed, which they agree to. Confused, Piano asks why Piccolo himself isn't going. He explains that Goku is capable enough to hold out for a while. Right now, his priority is making sure the Namekians are okay. So Nail takes the remaining trio to where he believes they will be. Goku finds Frieza, getting a smirk from the tyrant. It's been a while since he's seen a Saiyan. He even offers him a job, to which Goku simply chuckles at. He's been told Frieza is a strong guy, and frankly, Goku's been dying for a challenge. It's about time he proves his place. At that, Frieza scoffs, filthy monkeys with their ignorant pride. But yet, Frieza decides to give in to his request, so the duo begin to fight. While Goku is physically much weaker than Frieza, his technique makes up for that gap, allowing him to get a few good blows on the tyrant. It makes Frieza quite surprised, but it makes sense that the people who could defeat the Ginyu Force would be formidable. So he decides to take the fight up a notch, transforming into his second form. This dwarfs Goku in power, sending fear through the Saiyan. Meanwhile, Piccolo and the others arrive at Guru's old house, where they see the majority of the Namekians cramped inside a tiny hut. They're glad to see Piccolo there, believing him to be the only person who can save them. Piccolo, however, is stunned, taking note of the objects lying behind Mori. Are those Dragon Balls? Mori explains that he made sure to secure them in case the worst happened, which Piccolo is glad about. Remember, King Piccolo killed Shenron a few centuries ago, so for Piccolo this is groundbreaking. Before the question about Frieza can be asked, they all feel his strength rise from his second form transformation, leaving them afraid. Even now it's unlikely Piccolo could defeat him. With no other choice, Nail tells Piccolo that they need to fuse. At that, Piccolo scoffs, sick of having to assimilate people just for strength. Dende asks him to do so, however, knowing that the situation is dire, so begrudgingly, Piccolo tells Nail to get it over with. The duo fuse with Piccolo getting much stronger as a result. He then tells the group that he's going to go save Goku, and that they should use the Dragon Balls to flee the planet. He flies away before they can answer him. Instead of doing so though, they all believe that Piccolo can handle this. Dende also decides to follow him, as he's done being a coward. Back with Goku, it wouldn't take long for Frieza to overpower him and pierce him with his horn, throwing him to the ground and leaving him for dead. He says that he's upset that he couldn't be much more fun, but now he can join his race. He goes to fire a death beam at him when Goku's moved out of the way. This is thanks to Tambourine saving him at the nick of time. Drum then grabs Frieza's tail and proceeds to use a seismic toss, launching the tyrant through a mountain in the process. Cymbal then grabs Goku and proceeds to fly away to safety, praying for his brothers. Tambourine and Drum both stand off against Frieza, recognizing that they'll likely die here. Both of them mutter that they will die for the Demon King as they put up a futile attempt at combat, leaving the Emperor not very pleased. Despite this though, Frieza will proceed to beat them down and ultimately kill them both. Piccolo unfortunately arrives just in time to watch them perish. He looks rather somber, staring upon his brother's deaths, making Frieza laugh. Rightfully so. He deduces that Piccolo must be the leader of the Namekian pirates he's heard so much about. It's not too late for him to give up. He'll make his death swift, and he won't even kill any more of his kind. Of course, they'll still live under his boot, but it's better than not living at all, won't you agree? Piccolo ignores the tyrant's babbling as he walks over to the duo, creating graves to place them in. He then turns around to stare Frieza down. He promises to Frieza that for all the pain he's caused the Namekians, as well as the countless beings in the galaxy, he'll be sure to finish him once and for all. He then powers up to full power. Right now his power level is 4 million. Which makes him much stronger than Frieza. The Namekian lays the smackdown onto Frieza, being brutal in his attacks. It wouldn't take long for Frieza to ascend to his third form, but that doesn't even help him. Piccolo is just a monster in comparison to Frieza, which he demonstrates in this fight. So Frieza has to ascend to his final form, just to ensure he doesn't reach an untimely demise. When this happens, the tide of the battle would finally change in the Emperor's favour, as he begins to beat down his opponent savagely. Through this exchange, Piccolo is able to recognize Frieza's fighting style as rather sloppy, as well as him being unable to sense ki, both things that he uses to his advantage to land few blows of note. It doesn't take long for Frieza to overturn these advantages, allowing him to begin his torture on the Namekian. Meanwhile, Dende would run into Cymbal, where he heals up Goku. Thanks to that beatdown, Goku would receive a Zenkai, which places his power level at over 13 million. He quickly rushes back over to the battle between Frieza and Piccolo, where he chooses to observe the fight, awaiting for an opening. While Frieza doesn't notice him, Piccolo picks up on his presence and decides to take advantage of it. Using a ki blast onto the ground, he kicks up a dust cloud, blinding Frieza, which allows Piccolo to kick him into the air. As Frieza begins to observe the ground below, looking for his perceived opponent, he's knocked to the ground hard by Goku. The Saiyan lands in front of Frieza, telling him that it's not too late for Frieza to surrender. He'll make his death quick. Instead, Frieza opts to continue fighting, which admittedly doesn't go well in Goku's favor. Frieza is just too powerful for any of the fighters to keep up in a straight up brawl, which is what Piccolo picks up on. So he slips away from the battle and uses Goku as a distraction to charge up his Mark-on Kosa Po, unleashing it at a crucial moment, hitting Frieza dead on. While it does a lot of damage, leaving singe marks on his chest, the worst it does is anger Frieza beyond end. In retaliation, he uses a Death Slash, cutting Piccolo clean in half. The Namekian falls to the ground limp and lifeless, as Goku begins to believe this might be the last battle he'll ever have. At that point though, the sky turns dark, confusing Goku and Frieza, as they believe it's the others doing. They begin looking around to see what's happening. While initially nothing happens, both of them are confused when a moon appears in the sky. Is this some form of attack? Frieza questions Goku what's happening, but the Saiyan gives no response. Believing the monkey to be ignoring him, Frieza angrily barks as he demands answers. All he sees though is Goku growing to unbelievable sizes as fur surrounds his body. This is of course the Ozaru transformation, complete with a monstrous roar that echoes through the Namekian horizon. Piccolo awakens next to Guru's house, his wounds fully healed. He sees Porunga in the sky, amazed at the scale of the dragon. It doesn't take long for him to recall what's occurring though, telling the Namekians they have to flee now. Goku is probably dead and Frieza will be coming to them next. Piano chuckles at his master's comments, telling him that he had that in mind. The only reason they even kept Goku was due to the beast within, so if he's going to die for the Demon King, he should do it with his desired purpose. So the first wish on Porunga was to create a moon on Namek, to allow Goku to ascend to the Ozaru transformation once more. And for the second wish, it was used to bring Piccolo here. They have a plan for that. Symbol steps up with all the mutated Namekians born from King Piccolo, telling them that they all came from the king, using trace amounts of his strength from birth, so they're simply going to return it. Piccolo refuses once more due to not wanting to fuse with anyone else, but Mori says that he has that covered. The last wish on Porunga will be to defuse any mutated Namekians from Piccolo. That being said, Piccolo's okay with his fate, fusing with all of his brothers. Ozaru Goku would be able to beat up the tyrant fairly easily, with Frieza being unable to get enough time to ascend to his full power. The only thing he has over the beast is that Goku has no control of himself, at the moment, leaving all the power in the mindless oath. So while he's running down Frieza quite a bit, Goku's wielding all that power with no control. Frieza would decide to steal one of Piccolo's tactics, blinding the Great Ape temporarily to allow him to hide. With this, he begins powering up as he begins entering his 100% form. Telepathically, Piccolo begins speaking to Goku, telling him to get serious. If he's the strongest, then it's time to prove it. Stop berserking and start fighting like a member of the Demon Clan would. Through this pep talk, Goku is able to grasp some form of control over his power, just in time for Frieza to make his appearance at full strength. Goku vs Frieza was a big spectacle, with both of them destroying large amounts of the terrain. While Goku does have a slight edge in strength, he was also a much bigger target, making it easy for Frieza to simply fling his massive amounts of power at the beast. So after a prolonged battle, Frieza would manage to get lucky using his Death Sorcerer attack, where he severs Ozaru's tail. Goku would fall back to base unconscious, making Frieza laugh. Finally, he can end this once and for all. He fires a death beam at Goku, attempting to kill him, when a green blur moves him out the way. Frieza looks around confused, until he sees who did this. Piccolo stands there, his form looking mutated. It confuses Frieza as he questions what happened, but Piccolo brushes him off. He tells Frieza that for all the people he's hurt, for all the people he's killed, he will be defeated. Piccolo powers up to full power, reaching easily over the Ozaru's strength. Not wasting any time, Piccolo proceeds to beat up Frieza with a few good blows. Frieza will be left begging for mercy. Piccolo isn't the type to give it though, especially after recognizing that Frieza is stalling to blow up the planet. So he unleashes a powerful blast, erasing the Galactic Emperor once and for all. Well, for now anyway. With the day saved, Piccolo would use the final wish on Porunga to unfuse all the mutants he absorbed. Glad that Porunga was able to carry out that wish. Whenever Porunga restores itself, he asks Mori to revive Tambourine Drum, which the Namekian Elder agrees to. As for now though, Piccolo says that he needs to take a temporary leave of the planet. There's a place he can go to train, and clearly he needs to do so. Namek might have more threats, and he wants to be strong enough to protect it. They question what he means by that, with him saying that he plans on living here. This brings joy to everyone present, except for Goku. He's just expected to live on this planet with nothing to do? That's not the life he was promised. Piccolo tells him that if he wants to, he's welcome to leave. Goku agrees, saying that he hasn't gone senile yet. He flies away, taking Piccolo's ship for himself as he leaves into the cosmos. As for Piccolo, he takes a separate ship where he chooses to head to Yardrat for training. But guys, that's where we're gonna leave it here. Make sure you like and subscribe, and comment down below what you think is going to happen in the next part, as well as any future requests for what ifs. I'm quite happy with this weird telling of the Namek saga, with the story basically just being about Frieza wanting to kill Piccolo, as opposed to getting immortality. I think the idea of Piccolo having this mutated form, while it is a bit fanficky, it does make sense. I mean, he's just assimilated, what, like 80, 90, 100 mutant Namekians, so naturally you'd assume it does something to his body. And I like the idea of Ozaru Goku being relevant past the point in time. The next few parts are going to be very strange, as they don't actually focus on Namek. Now why is that? Well, you'll have to stay tuned. Anyways guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!